Shabbat Shalom to the nation of Israel. Glory and honor and power and blessing be to the Most High, Father Yah, the creator of heaven and earth. The reason why we have Shabbat is to give honor to the Father, because we believe and know he created all things, and that he created Israel, and that he has a kingdom that he's going to establish in Messiah. So we give him honor and glory and praise today because it is Shabbat. Praise his name to the holy Shabbat. Glory and honor to his son, Messiah, who is the sacrifice for sin for Israel, the high priest for Israel, the soon coming king of the earth. Blessing and honor and glory and power to the Lamb. Greetings to the 12 tribes scattered to the four corners of the earth according to this book. Greetings to the 144,000 among them. Greetings to the Gentile brethren who have come into this truth, as it were, early in the process and have joined the scattered nation in trusting in the perfect righteousness of the only true God, Father Yahweh, and of the line of the tribe of Judah, Messiah Yahweh Shai. Greetings. Greetings to the chat, Brother Naviska, Brother Mark, Imana Bakash, April Buck, just visiting, Brother Gary Joseph, my brother, superstar, my brother. Only one way, my brother Arkawan Banya and his beautiful family, Brother Don Hines, Sister Wade and her beautiful husband and family, Brother Don Hines, Brother Gary Joseph, Isha Shama, her husband, her sister Ramona, Yakoba Ben Israel, my brother. Blessings and honor and to the Most High Yah for bringing all of you. We're going to be continuing our study in Deuteronomy chapter 15. Let me close some of these blinds. They'll allow the light that's here to shine better. Praise the Most High. So we were studying yesterday how the Most High views in his word. And again, please, brethren, it's more important, literally more important than ever in the history of planet Earth, that the people of Yah today read his word and trust in his word. Start in Genesis, read through the Revelation. It's going to take you a year. When you finished it, do it again. The Father Yah's Spirit will bless you as he guides you through his word. There's going to be a lot you do not understand, and that's okay, because you're dealing with infinity. You're dealing with a mind of infinite understanding and knowledge. He's going to reach you where you are in this spiritual exercise as you study his word. He's going to talk to you. He's going to guide you. And in the end, your life will be changed forever, and you'll be prepared to stand in the kingdom of righteousness. Read his word, because deception is at an all-time high. In fact, let's take a look at the word in 2 Timothy chapter 3. 2 Timothy chapter 3. The apostle Paul of the tribe of Benjamin is writing to his son, Timothy, the Hebrew Israelite who was circumcised. 2 Timothy chapter 3, beginning at verse 1. 2 Timothy chapter 3, beginning at verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful and unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Yah, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. The key thing was right there. All those other descriptions, it came down to verse 5 when he said, having a form of godliness. Not godliness, a form of godliness. The Bible teaches us in Psalms 32 that those that are godly acknowledge their transgressions to the Most High. Those that are godly surrender to the will of the Most High. But this is having a form of godliness. So it's religious, but it's not truth. So that I don't have to be in the Christian churches to know what's going on in there. We just were told. See, this is why it's important for us to read the word. We were just told what's in there. Hey, there it is. Lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High. That's what's in there. It's a form of godliness. That's what's in all the three Abrahamic religions. I don't have to be in there to know that because it just told me. You understand? This is the difference, you see, between following Father Yah's word, and that's what this is. That was written by Paul, but it was Father Yah's spirit that prompted it. That's the difference between following the spirit of Father Yah and everything else. You understand? This is what I mean. We're not dependent on science to prove what we believe. Let me say it again. We're not dependent on science to prove what we believe. We believe Father's word. We believe this is Father's word. And that's all we need. We don't need to prove to a Jehovah's Witness or to argue in the street with Muslims about what we believe. The word told us. Isn't that simple? I love the simplicity of it. And so I don't need to go into these churches to know what's in there because Father's word just told me what was in there. Just told me. Okay? And that's in the religious circle of the system of Babylon. We need to understand. Babylon, many people understand when you see America, you see, even if you're, not versed in the Bible, you can see if there's something called Babylon, you see the United States of America, you say, man, that's got to be Babylon, right? Because everybody can see, but that's just a cursory glance at it. What do I mean cursory? That's surface. Cursory means surface. It's like somebody said, did you read the book? I just kind of skimmed it. That's just like you just kind of cursory view, just like a basic overview. That's not deep into it. Babylon is a system. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The Bible says the Roman Catholic Church, the king of the north, is going to give honor to a God his fathers knew not, and honor it with gold and silver and precious things. And that he would have group with him, and they would divide the land for gain. That is Christianity. It has went throughout the earth. This is before the so-called missionaries. This is when they came to kill the Indians, when they came to kill the northern tribes, when they took us. Those were Christians that did that. Don't y'all ever forget that. See, some Christians want you to forget that, but don't forget that. Who took us by chains and brought us across the Atlantic? Those are Christians. Those are Christians. Who cut off our hands? Who had us working in slavery Those were Christians. Don't you ever forget that. See, the word teaches us those things. Okay? The word teaches. So as a system, when you want to know what Babylon is, you have to put the whole system. It will help you to understand the whole system. And I'm going to put it to you real quick and you'll understand what I'm about to say. Babylon has 3 aspects. Well, 4 really. There's the religious aspect that we've been talking about, which is represented in the 3 Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Okay, that's the religious aspect of Babylon. That everybody sees that. Second aspect, there's a governmental, a political aspect. In this world, you ever heard this? We got to make the world safe for democracy. That's the government aspect of Babylon. And all of the offshoots of democracy. You see what I'm saying is when you're talking about, for example, when we're talking about Christianity, right? We just mentioned Jehovah's Witnesses. You might have Mormons, SDAs, Pentecostals, Baptists. They're all offshoots of what? The whore of Christianity, correct? Well, so when you're dealing with democracy, what you're dealing with communism, capitalism, socialism, all of those are offshoots of the whore. You understand? Okay, so when you're spreading democracy, that's part of Babylon. Because what happens with democracy? Let me give you the third thing that comes with it. Are you ready? Corporations, business. That's part of Babylon. You understand? So when they spread in democracy, they bring Christianity or Islam, and then they bring business. Generally speaking, when democracy is trying to be spread and they're saying they want to help a country, what they're going to do is put the country in debt and take its assets and give those assets to corporations. And corporations are not going to help the country. They're going to have the country work for it as slaves and ship those goods back into places where they can pay expensive money for them. Babylon. Final aspect of Babylon is the aspect that everybody is scared of: military. So if you decide, if you're a country, to take the money, and if you decide to rebel against democracy, to rebel against everything that they've put you in, here comes the 4th aspect: the military. They're going to beat you into submission. The Bible says that the little horn, which is Rome, in the last days, in Daniel chapter 7, it will subdue the whole earth. There's no place you can run and escape Babylon. There is no place. Oh, you could go to other countries and the food is better. They don't put as many chemicals in the food. Yep. The people are nicer in a lot of countries. Yep. That's true. But don't think you escape Babylon. Is there a bank there? Is there a bank there? Do you have internet there? Guess who else is there? You see giant Catholic cathedrals in those places? Guess who else is there? You're not escaping it. I don't care where you go. You're not escaping it. If you're on a land somewhere on the planet Earth in any of the square miles, you're in Babylon, baby. But it's all good. No, it's all good because the Father Yah is our protection. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Brethren, it doesn't matter if you're in the middle of New York City or if you're in some desert somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Australia or any place in between. It really doesn't matter. Father Yah is everywhere. And not only is his tentacles bigger than Babylon, because why? He's above Babylon. You see, he looks down, literally, on Babylon. And all it takes is him to say something, protection, and you guess what? You got it. So the most important thing, brethren, as far as location, is for us to be where Father wants you to be. Where is that? That's none of my business. That's between you and your Father. But it's between you and your Father. And he will show you where you should be. And I can tell you something. It's never where you think. I can tell you from my experience, brethren, it's never where you think. So if you're thinking something, forget it. Forget it. If you got plans, forget it. In all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Don't ever start to try to think ahead of the Father. Don't be like that, brethren. Wait on the Most High and let him show you. He will show you. He will show you. Okay? He will let you know. There's no doubt. Because he ain't going to just whisper one time and leave you. He's going to make it very plain. And it's going to be someplace you would not have thought for yourself to go. But he will have it for you. It could, like I said, it don't matter where it is. It could be the middle of Washington, D.C. It could be in some wilderness place in Panama. It's not for me to tell you. It's not for no man to tell you. Let your Father tell you. And guess what? Wherever he has you to be is the safest place for you. I don't care where it is. If he has you there, it's the safest spot for you. He can keep you safe anywhere. You know, Peter was in jail. He had 16 soldiers around, 16. And he had 4 of them chained to him. And he slept. You know why he slept? Not only was he tired, he was safe. And when the angel was ready, they walked right out. And nobody knew it. Trust in your Father. Also, 2 Timothy chapter 3. Notice what it says also. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts. Silly women laden with sins. Do you guys know that it's the statistical fact, and you can look this up, it's statistical fact that most divorces are initiated by the woman? Do you know that? Now, that's a statistical fact in the United States of America. I can't speak on Britain. My man David could do that. I can't speak on Ireland. My man Mark could tell you. I can't speak on Malaysia. My sister Cross could tell you. But I can tell you in the United States of America, most divorces are initiated by the woman. The majority of divorces are initiated by the woman. And this is the caveat. Listen to this now. So the divorces are initiated by the woman. And then the women are complaining because they end up by themselves most of the time. Okay. And they're not happy. If they do get with it, they're not happy usually. So they're miserable. Sign of the last days. And a lot of times, there's some segment of women, and let me describe it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. There's some segment of sisters that do it this way. When they ready to leave their man, they make sure they have one waiting first. They don't just leave. They're planning to leave, but they make sure they got something waiting first. There's a segment of sisters that do that. You understand what I'm saying? They don't just leave. When they leave, they're leaving from your arms to somebody else's arms, and they already got it planned. They're not just walking out cold without nobody. Now, usually that second thing, that don't work out either, but that's how they plan it though. Like there's a quarterback, Tom Brady. He had this model wife, and they were breaking up for a minute. She already had a dude waiting. They all do that. I mean, in that level, but they're not, that's off the offshoot of this verse. Okay, it's very devious, isn't it? And I'm not just talking about the sisters. Dudes are, and it's probably a function of, especially in the Hebrew community, of fathers being absent from the home. And I'm saying it's not just brothers deciding to be absent from the home. This was planned by our government. They've been planning to take brothers out the home. Low unemployment, underpayment, you want to get your food stamps and your welfare, you can't have a second income, things like that. They plan it. And then, of course, flooding the neighborhoods with crack. See, y'all got to remember this next time you see brothers kill each other in the street and robbing cars. Remember how this started. And next time you hear somebody talk about they always killing each other, remember how this started. We didn't create redlining. We didn't create that. We don't have planes and ships to bring crack and heroin from the Middle East to our streets. We don't have that. We don't have the money to put liquor stores on every corner and put the strongest malt liquor in the neighborhood. We don't have that power. So who does? And how does it happen? And did we create for-profit prisons? Did we do that? Did we hire the ex-Klan members to become police officers in our cities? Did we do that? So you create the situation. You create it. Now, when I say you, I'm talking about government powers. They create that situation. Corporations create that situation. Okay. And now when it happens over 3 or 4 generations, we all are led to believe, or you're starting to think, this is how these people are. They just killers. They just like that. That's their culture. No, it was created. The whole thing. It was created. Okay. It was created. You understand? So the next time they talk about how we kill each other and how we rob and steal and how we ruin neighborhoods, remember how this started. It didn't start with us. It was foisted upon us. Okay, it was foisted upon us. They did that to us. It's part of the curse. As we're reading in Deuteronomy, it's part of the curse. Okay, it's part of the curse. And again, how do we break the curse? Coming to Father Yah in truth and godliness and righteousness. That's how we break the curse. That's how we break the curse. Okay, that's how it's broken. It's all planned. And now what I have come to understand now, one of the things I myself have learned is they don't care now whether, they don't care in terms of the overall powers that be, what color you are in poverty. Like they already know they got the black man, the Hebrews are in poverty and they want to keep you there. But now they're destroying their own cousins. And what's sad about them destroying their own cousins is they've got their cousins brainwashed to vote for them anyway. The most people in terms of pure numbers of abject poverty in the United States of America are the so-called white people. As a percentage of the population is black, as a percentage. And then what do I mean by that? I'm gonna give you some numbers. So if there's 100 black people, okay, there's 100 black people and 30 of them are in abject poverty, right? So that's 30%. That's 30 out of 100, right? But if there's 100 black people and 30 of them are in abject poverty, in terms of population, they might be 500 white people. And then let's say 50 of them in poverty, that's only 10% of their population. But the number 50 is more than the number 30. Does that make sense? So in other words, there's more in terms of pure numbers of them that are in poverty. But the percentage of their population in terms of us, we're higher. But in terms of pure numbers, there's way more white people that are in abject poverty. And the sad thing is that those 50 white people will vote for the very people putting them in poverty. Why? Because they're being told at least they're not part of that 30. That's been the game since this country, the United States, was founded. That's been the game. That's been the game. And I find it sad as I don't know what I'm in Florida. Nothing for nothing, man. I'm just saying, some of the saddest looking Caucasian people I ever seen. And they staunch Republicans down here. And those Republicans, and the Democrats do the same thing, don't get me wrong, but the Republicans have foisted this game on them that they are part of white supremacy and that they're going to benefit. And they're telling them, look, like stuff like this. We need to protect our borders. Why? Because those Mexicans and the people coming from Central America are coming over here and committing all kinds of crimes and stealing our jobs. Now, again, the facts are most sex predators are Caucasian males. Most sex predators are Caucasian males. The majority of crime is Caucasian males. So and so when you see sex trafficking, right? When you see pedophilia, child pornography, that market is created by white males. The market's created by them. But see, they're buying into, well, it's coming across the border. And then they'll highlight, a criminal that came across the border and created a heinous crime. And they'll say, see, this is what's going on. But they're not showing you the 100, 200, the 1,000 Caucasian males that are raping 5-year-olds, raping their own daughters. They're not telling you that. They're not showing you that. They'll highlight the one that they want you to think this is the majority. See? Brethren? That's what's going on. And that's why I say, please read this book. It's not me, being smart to come out with all this for you. It's from the wisdom the Father has given in his word. I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Father through Messiah Yahushua. That's how my eyes were open. And that's what I'm saying to you. Read, and your eyes will be open. Don't go to no church. That ain't going to help you. It's not going to help you. And it's not even going to solve your loneliness problem. A lot of people go to church because they're lonely. It's not going, and they'll tell you, them church people leave you alone, man. We just read 2 Timothy 3. You know what's in there. Now, this means all of them are bad. There's good people in churches. There's good people in mosques. There's good people in synagogues. But you know what? Muhammad Ali once said, if 10,000 poisonous snakes are coming at me, how am I going to pick out which one's not going to bite me? And there's 3 or 4 of them that ain't going to bite me. They mean me well. How am I going to pick them out? And that's the situation you're dealing with. So, brethren, come to your Father, trust in his word. In these last days, Babylon is everywhere, and the tentacles are stretched everywhere, and they are affecting all people. Let your Father guide you where you should go. A lot of us will be led and are being led out of these so-called developing nations. So we're being led out of Canada, out of the United States. We're being led out of Britain. We're being led out of some of these countries like Germany. We're being led out. But that's the Father leading us to go where he want to have us be. Go where he has you to be. A lot of us going to still be in these places when it comes off. We're going to be here. But that's of his design, and that's fine, because wherever he wants us to be, whether it's in the country like Abraham was, or whether it's in Sodom and Gomorrah like Lot was, he will move you where you're supposed to be. Angel came and grabbed Lot and said, come on, we got to get out of here. This place is going down. And Lot went. Lot was fighting Angel a little bit. Angel said, go to the mountains. He said, can I go to this city? He said, all right, I'm going to let you go to the city. Don't look back. Why look back anyway? See, they were fighting him, but with the faithfulness of the Father to get him out of there anyway. See, he will do that to us. Let us not be like Lot, though, right? And be fighting him. Just go where he has you to go. Go where he has you to go, brother. You understand? He will guide your steps. Just don't let it be your own idea, because then you're going to get messed up. That's all I'm saying. If you convince yourself, and we could do that now, we can convince ourselves that what we want is what the Father wants. You do that, you're going to mess yourself up. I 100% guarantee you're going to mess yourself up, because it's not him, it's you. It's very important that we make sure it's the Father. That's why I'm saying, don't think he's going to just show you one time. He's going to show you a lot. He's going to make it very plain. He's going to close doors, and he's going to open a door for you. And when you're going to see the door open, and you're going to wonder, should I walk through that door? Should I go through that one? Because I didn't even think about that door. He'll make it known. Okay? Trust your Father. He'll make it known. And I know this is hard. I went there. If you want a spouse, trust your Father. And when I say trust him, and I had to swallow hard myself, I mean, trust him for whether he wants you to be with somebody or he doesn't. Trust his will. He knows what you want. Trust his will, but he knows what's best for you. Okay? If you buck his will, you're going to be in trouble. And you're going to create problems for not just yourself, but for others as well. Trust his will. When it comes to a spouse, trust his will. Pray to him. Trust his will. Okay? That's all I'm saying to you. And it's a hard thing for us. Stiff-necked brethren. It's a hard thing for us, the stiff-necked Hebrews, and it's also a hard thing for the children of Yefet because they're used to thinking they control everything. And it's hard for them to relinquish control. They have a real problem with that. They have a real problem trusting the Most High because they think they're in control. They're used to having their hands and controlling everything. And it's difficult for them to let go and trust the Most High. It's difficult for us as Hebrews because we just stiff-necked. And y'all know we are. We just stiff-necked. We hard-headed, man. Okay? Father be banging us, spanking us, and we still want to do what we want to do. You know we are. But when it comes to the spouse, especially if you've been through failed relationships, talk to your father. He'll reveal to you the whole thing, the good, the bad, the ugly. And he'll show you what you should do, whether you should be with somebody or maybe you shouldn't. And he will show you when it's time. He will show you. Okay? If it ever comes. You have to trust him, though. That's the scary thing. It's the best thing to do, though. I can tell you from my own experience, it's the best thing to do. It's not easy, but it's the best. It's scary. It is. I ain't gonna front. It's scary, but it's the best thing to do. In the long run, it works out. In the long run, it works out. Okay, I can testify. And not easy, though. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay. Look, I want to stay in 2 Timothy for a second, okay? From verse 7 of chapter 3. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. This is exemplified in many ways, but one way is, you ever see people, they're looking at every other book and every other piece of information instead of focusing on this one book. They just want to get every other piece of information, every other book, and learning all kinds of things and still don't know. Very simple to follow me. Genesis to Revelation. And in my opinion, you don't need no Apocrypha either. Just because the English priest put it in there don't mean you're supposed to be in there. But that's for you to decide once you read for yourself. But I have noticed the people that I have listened to that read Apocrypha and trust in it, man, they have no understanding of justification by faith and righteousness by faith. They really don't. They don't teach it. They don't know it. And then secondly, they have the understanding of prophecy is scary. And that's why I'm trusting the Father to awaken our brethren and get us on the page. So because prophecy is about what's about to happen and about being prepared so you're not caught off guard. See, that's what prophecy is about. Father revealing to his people, his servants, what's about to happen so that you're ready. He don't want us to be surprised about nothing. And so it's important that we listen to him in his word, what he's trying to reveal to us about what's about to happen so that we're not caught off guard. So are we surprised that 7 of the 9 Supreme Court justices are Roman Catholic? No, because the Bible tells us that's the great whore. Are we surprised that the Ashkenazi Jews control the banking system? No, because the Bible says they're despised among the heathen. They're small among the heathen and greatly despised, and they dwell in high places. There you go. Okay. We're not surprised at these things because the words show us. Are we surprised that Christianity is a system that has many tentacles and is all hypocrisy? No, because the Bible said this institution going to rise up and they're going to give it honor and glory and they're going to divide the land for gain. We're not surprised. It's telling us. See? So, and if I was refusing what it was telling me and trying to create my own interpretation, then I would be surprised. Then I wouldn't understand. But you have to allow the Father to teach you. And sometimes reading these other books throws you off. Believe it or not, it's not advanced knowledge. It throws you off. Genesis to Revelation is the key, brethren. Read Genesis to that Revelation and just keep reading it. Keep reading that and praying to your Father. I guarantee you he's going to show you, going to open your eye, going to open your mind, he's going to show you the truth. You won't be missing anything. Nothing. But there's a lot of people ever learning and never able to come to the truth. And the truth is right there. Listen, look at Pilate. That's the object lesson. Pilate said, "What is truth?" Right? And truth was standing right in front of him. See that? What is truth? He's talking to Messiah. And truth is standing right in front of him. Truth is conversing with him. And he didn't even know it. He's asking, what is truth? That's exactly how the heathen are. They're seeking to learn like people that are blind and trying to reach and can't see nothing, or people in a dark room and trying to find the switch and never find it. It's right there. But for those of us that are repentant to Father Yah and coming to his spirit in his word, he makes it plain for us. He makes it simple for us. He breaks it down for us. Okay? Praise the Most High. Now, verse 8, as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. I don't know who Jannes and Jambres was. I've been studying that, but I do know that there was a couple of areas where people were withstanding Moses. If you remember, there was the priests with others, and they came and said, why do you think you're supposed to be our leader? And the earth opened up her mouth and swallowed them. Remember that? And then there are those that say, you killed the people of the Most High, and they were also killed. There were people that withstood Moses because they thought they knew more than Moses. And listen, Moses wasn't necessarily no genius, but what was Moses? Father's servant, filled with Father's Spirit. That's what he was. And he wanted them to be Father's servants and to be filled with Father's Spirit. And instead of doing that, they were trying to uplift themselves. And that's always the case with somebody that's a traitor or somebody that's going the wrong way. They want to glorify themselves because that's Asatan right there, unfortunately. Okay. Verse 9. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all Yahweh delivered me. Yea, in all that will live godly in Messiah, Yahweh shall suffer persecution. Yes. You're going to. It's going to happen. Anytime you're going you're seeking the truth in a world that's built on lies. Babylon as a system, as I mentioned, the religious aspect, the government political aspect, the business aspect, and the military aspect is all built on lies, and more lies. So if you're going to stand for truth in a system built on lies, you're going to stand out in a negative way. That makes sense? They're all built on lies. So, for example, George Bush, the Jr., said he needed to invade Iraq because they had weapons of mass destruction that were pointed at the U.S., and they were planning on using those weapons of mass destruction against the U.S. So when they went and invaded Iraq and killed hundreds of thousands of innocent men, women, and children in Iraq, they're still looking for them weapons and never found them. You know why? Because they didn't exist. That's why. That's what I'm talking about. How many American servicemen and servicewomen permanently lost their lives or damaged or ruined families or came back diseased because there was no weapons of mass destruction? See what I mean? How many Iraqi children are being born with one eye, no arms, one leg, because of the radioactivity of all them bombs that was dropped on them? Because of a lie. See? And that's not the only example, but I'm not going to go into any more. But that, you got the picture. All based in lies. Okay? That's how it is, brother. And don't think those guys don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Okay? Let's continue. Verse 13. This is the point, too. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. That's the thing. So it's talking about the last days. And it says, evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. What does that mean? That means as we get closer to the return of Messiah, seducers' deceit will increase. And that's what we're seeing. So deceit increases. The level of it, the power of it, the amount of it increases. Evil men increase. There's more of them. And of course, you are seeing that on every level. There's people that are poor that have rapists and child molesters. There are people that are middle class that are rapists and child molesters. There are people that are rich that are rapists and child molesters. And I'm just using that child molestation as an example. It's all classes of society, and it's becoming more. Listen, you cannot have an industry, which is child pornography. You cannot have, that's where children are being filmed, being raped. You cannot make that's an industry that's worth, listen, billions. You cannot have a $1 billion industry without a whole lot of people buying that product. Am I correct or not? You cannot have a $1 billion industry without a whole lot of people buying that product. That ain't just one dude buying that for it to be billions of dollars. And now they got these situations I told y'all where one of them tried to snatch my daughters. Both my daughters at different times. The Most High delivered both of them at both times. But how it happened was the interesting thing. We lived at the time in Virginia. They tried to snatch both my daughters, and at different times. And then what happened? We were living in this complex in Virginia, nice complex, safe, could walk at night. And I wondered how this dude. See, at this time, my daughter was working third shift, and I was working in DC. But sometimes I would work from home. But at that time, it was way before COVID. I was working from home sometimes, but I would go to DC every day. So this particular day, I forgot why, but I worked from home. Now she worked third shift. My daughter is 5 foot, and at the time she might have weighed 100 pounds. She's small, okay? And so she would come home from third shift and then sleep, right? And she had a little car. So my wife would go to work in the morning. I would leave early. I would leave before my wife. I'd leave it'd be dark when I went to go to DC. So all of a sudden, this particular day, the doorbell rings. I'm home now. And my daughter's asleep. And I told her, I'm going to answer. I went, and this dude must have been 22, young, clean-cut white dude. And you could tell when I opened the door, he jumped back. He was shocked. And I didn't understand then why. And I noticed, he said to me, sir, I hit your car. You hit my car? What car? My daughter's car was sitting. He said, I hit your car. I said, you hit my car? I said, let me see. And I went out and he's pointing at he didn't hit it. But in the meantime, I said, is that your truck? He had a van with no windows about half away and it was running. So in other words, he left it running there and he walked back to our house to tell us that he hit a car that he didn't hit. He was expecting my little daughter to come to the door. Probably had some drug or something to stick her with and take her. Why would he have a windowless van half a block away running? And when he said that, something hit me. And I'm half asleep myself, and I'm looking and I'm seeing, and then he just, okay, sir. He said, I want to go. And he left. And I knew what he was there for. And what bothered me, aside from the obvious, one of my neighbors scouted this out for him. One of my neighbors scouted this out. That's how he knew she was going to be there. That's how he knew I wasn't going to be there. That's how he knew everything. Somebody scouted it out from my neighbors. Because you know what? These days, your neighbors, you don't know what they're looking at on their computer. They could be looking at all kind of child porn. You don't know what they're looking at on their computer or what they're doing in their house. Right? They could look normal, but you don't know what's going on. That's happening all over the country. All over. Okay? All over. That's why growing up, I never trust any, especially a dude. I ain't trust no dude. Then two people tried to come on my other daughter's campus and get it, to try to pull her off the campus so they could snatch her. And the Most High Spirit caught her. And she said something was wrong with them. She said, because they were trying, oh, we're Christians and we have a Bible study off the campus. And they watch. See, that's how widespread this is. Evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, both deceiving and being deceived. And then you have people that are willfully ignorant. They love their little church, or they know. That's why, you got 1.7 million people voted for Herschel Walker, or 70 million people voted for Donald Trump, and they don't care how many putangs he grabbed. They don't care how many illegitimate children he had. Long as he's pushing white supremacy, that's all that matters. And you got people in every area that have their little favorite doctrine that is important to them. It's not truth of the word, but it's important to them. Evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, both deceiving and being deceived. That's the truth about it. That's the truth about it. Right here in the word. Notice though, verse 14, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. And that from a child, thou hast known what? The Holy Scriptures. Now, let me ask you a question. Paul is writing a letter to Timothy. When he mentions Holy Scriptures, what would we call that today? What would we call that? He mentions Holy Scriptures from a child that has known the Holy Scriptures. What would we call the Holy Scriptures? What is he doing? Yes, the Bible. Be more specific. That's right. He's talking about the Old Testament. He's talking about the law, the Psalms, the prophets, the wisdom. He's talking about the Old Testament. So when he says from a child that has known the Holy Scriptures, that's why I'm amazed that Christians read stuff like this and don't understand. He's talking about the Old Testament. He said from a child, and what does he say? Which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Messiah Yahushua. In other words, read the Old Testament with the truth of Father's righteousness, which is the faith of Messiah. There you go, baby. There it is. So now I'm not saying we do away with the New Testament, but I'm saying we have that in addition to the Old Testament. It's all one. You can't just say I'm a New Testament Christian or only follow Torah. He gave us the whole thing, even this, right? So don't ignore anything in the Bible, okay? I talk against Apocrypha, but I'm not talking against Genesis to Revelation. Read the whole thing. It's all one, okay? People will try to act like it contradicts. It don't contradict. It's all one, okay? Praise the Most High. And then, of course, verse 16, all scripture is given by inspiration of Yah and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of Yah may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good work. Perfect means not only what we know to be perfect as far as perfection, which it does, but it also means completeness. So Father Yah is able to make us complete by the scriptures, by his inspiration of the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? All scripture is given by inspiration. That's the Father's Spirit. Even this letter of Paul here to Timothy is by the Father's inspiration. Right there tells us everything. Now, in Deuteronomy 15, we're dealing with how Yah intends for the kingdom to look like. Right? That we talked about last night. And now he's going to give us more instruction about how to deal with the poor. Now, brethren, listen. Some of us are poor. And there's no shame in being poor. Don't let capitalism and Babylon teach you that there's shame in being poor. Ain't no shame in being poor, especially if you're working hard and you're just poor. It just happens, brethren. But if you happen to not be, If you have everything you need and you're able to put a little bit of money aside, right? Remember some brethren, somebody somewhere. Let the Most High guide you in what you should do. And remember somebody, I ain't got to tell you no more. Remember somebody. It ain't got to be no billions of dollars, obviously. It could be 50. It could be 20. It could be 100. Whatever you can do. And you know a brethren or a sister that might be in some trouble. You know what to do. I ain't got to tell you. You see what I'm saying? You know what to do. Some of us can do that. Some of us can't. Don't be ashamed if you can. It's all good, brethren. Just work hard like you do. Work hard. Do your thing. Okay? Work hard. And what little bit of chump change you get, that's yours. Most High bless you. But if you get a little bit and somebody needs a little something, and you can throw it their way a little bit, do what you do. Okay? Do what you do. And don't let the right hand know what the left hand doing. Just do what you do. The Most High has, like I told y'all, and so I have my channel where, we the Patreon money, I try to send that to the Philippines. I got to connect in the Philippines. Brother came from the United States. He's over there. And he has, what he has is a little lottery every Thursday. And he picks the single mothers and families that are struggling. And he'll just throw them some kick them whatever, we sending to them. And that's, you're not helping the whole country, right? But there's one family I know that week is going to get something they ain't got before. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. And I have a few other things that I won't mention, but that's what I'm saying. So kick a little bit here, kick a little bit there, and people could get a little something, right? It ain't like you can't save the world. Messiah can, but you can't, but you just do a little something, man. That's better than tied into some daggone rip-off church. It's way better than that. Way better, and it's more real and it's more direct. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. I know y'all feeling it, so it's all good. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. Deuteronomy. Chapter 15. Deuteronomy chapter 15. Last night we just read a few verses, right? But it was blessing, though. It was blessing. That's right, Stephen. That's exactly right. Do what you do in secret, and Yahweh will bless you openly. I just mentioned the Philippines because I put that out there for everybody to understand. That's what we're trying to do. That's a little project we're doing, but that's not the only thing we're doing. But that's the thing I'm doing there. And like I said, I connect with my brother over there, and me and him talk, and then if I can send, I send, and he does what he does. Praise the Most High. And that brother only make like $1,200, $1,400 a month. That's all he gets. But over there, he stretches it, and then he saves a little bit and able to kick it to some people over there. And whatever he gets sent, he kicks some more. And now it may not be the Philippines for you. It may be down the street from you. You understand? That's for you, though. That's for you. It might be in another state, might be in another country, might not. Might be in your country, might be in your neighborhood. I don't know, but that's for you. Okay, that's for you. You do what you do, and the Most High will bless you. And that's what he says. If you do it in secret, he will bless you openly. See, we're now. Y'all know we're in Babylon. Y'all know we're in captivity. Y'all know we're in captivity, and we're in Babylon. So we're not operating like we would in the land. See, in the land, we're gonna go to Jerusalem, and everybody would get blessed, right? Everybody would get blessed, and it's all good. But we're not there, so it's all good. But you operate the way Messiah, and Messiah was teaching us as Hebrews, because most people don't understand. Most people don't understand that Messiah was actually talking to Hebrew Israelites. His message, 95% was to Hebrew Israelites. And so he's teaching them how to operate when they're in captivity, because they were at that time in captivity to the Romans. And so he's trying to teach them how to operate. That's what Messiah was doing. And he's using Moses' principles to teach them how to operate, how to work, how to help. Okay? Because they were a long way from actually doing what Moses told them to do as a nation. But he was trying to teach them. And then he also, being Messiah, he knew the place was going to be destroyed. They were going to be taken captive into all nations. He knew that. So he's trying to teach us how to operate in these nations that we at. He says that, and as Most High told Ezekiel, he will be a little sanctuary for us in all nations which we are scattered. Here we are. Here we are. Let's GD. We would take that into consideration, but honestly, the Father, I feel like he's leading me in another direction, which I won't say right now, but he's leading me in another direction in our next study after we do Deuteronomy. But perhaps in 2023, by the grace of the Most High, we might definitely study Genesis. That would be a worthy study for sure. So I would definitely pray about that one for sometime in 2023, if you are still amenable at the time. But I'm letting the Most High lead me. I'm not going to say right now, but as we get closer to the end of Deuteronomy, I'll make an announcement about what we're doing next, and the Most High guide us in how we're going to do this. Okay, but that's a good suggestion. I like it. And Chaplain Lewis, I like yours as well. Let's let the Most High, he'll guide us in how we should do. Okay. Also, while I'm speaking on this, before we continue here, I want you to think about something. We haven't actually put together an official agenda for our Memorial Day weekend. And so I want some ideas from you. Those of you who know who you are, who are on the people that are scheduled to come, send me emails with suggestions about what you think should be on the agenda for the Memorial Day weekend. Okay. And so, and then I'm going to create an agenda based on suggestions and prayer, as the Father impresses us, and then I'll send that agenda out, probably 2-3 months before we actually have the event. But please pray to our Father about an agenda, and you don't have to have the whole agenda. Just give us some suggestions of what you would like to see at the Memorial Day weekend. Like, for example, we're going to have Bible study. We're going to have Bible study. And we're going to, fellowship. But we do want to see, what else maybe we all want to do while we're there at this facility. And so, we're going to be there Thursday, Friday, and Sabbath. So, let's see what we can get together. Yes, some of y'all. That's right, Akawan Banya. That's right. There's some of the elders in Akawan Banya. You are one of them. You are one of them. As we get closer, we'll talk about others as the Most High leads us. But yeah, praise the Most High. And as a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, one of the things I want to do, and I'm copying the SDA church and the Sunday churches a little bit. You know how they have Sabbath school and Sunday school. So I don't want to call it that, but I do want to get together in small groups in our meeting room and study subjects of the Bible. And I want we'll talk about what subject, but I want a brother to be in each group. And I want the groups to study the word together. And then we'll come together at the end and discuss what we've learned, what we've discussed, what we talked about in our little groups, what we went through, and go that way too. So I definitely want to do that. That's going to be on Sabbath morning. But we're going to definitely do that. But I just want to have any other ideas. Like, for example, my wife mentioned testimonials. Do we want to have testimonials? I'd love to have testimonials, but we got to control it because, you Hebrews could just go. I'm one of them. Y'all could just go, and you can spend an hour on your testimony, right? So we want to have some testimonials, but we want to control how we do it. And not everybody is comfortable giving their testimony in front of everybody. So we got to discuss that. But those things I want to have, we're going to have a Bible study. We're going to have study groups. And we're going to have testimonials. And of course, we're going to eat together, obviously that too. So, but I want some other ideas, that we might want to do other than that. If you want, just send me what you think. All right. because we may have testimonials. Well, we're going to have testimonials on more than one day. We're going to have testimonials every day because we're going to have, at least there's going to be at least 40 or 50 people there. So people are going to have testimony. You may have a bunch of people that want to give their testimony. So we'll probably line up the testimonials based on the day. You understand? Everybody gets a certain time to give their testimony. Because the testimonials are the most powerful thing, in my opinion, because that way you're bearing witness, right? And they overcame by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony, right? Well, there you go, Sister Daniels. Sister Daniels. Y'all don't know. Listen to your body is a health. She's a health ministress. Like the Most High has given her that Dorcas type of situation as far as teaching the brethren health. Okay, and so yeah, I'm thinking I think at this point it looks like about 50 Imam Bakas, looks like about 50 people, but that includes children and families. So that's a total, right? That's a total. So there's a total of about 50 we're talking about. And yeah, so that, probably as far as adults, there's probably 30 to 40 adults, I would say. Conservatively, probably 30 adults. And so we're gonna have at least that. And if all 30 want to give testimony, we'll arrange that, but we got to organize it. Okay, we'll organize it. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna have an agenda. I haven't put it out yet. At this point, I'm just trying to collect the money because the money coming, I got to give them the total amount due, and so I'm collecting it from the people that's coming, and then we're going to turn it into them. Now we don't have to do it yet, but that's what the focus is right now. Because by the time we get to April, I will know what money I have and what adjustments need to be made. If people start changing their mind or whatever, then we'll make the adjustments necessary at that time. So right now we're just trying to collect the money. That's it. We done gave them the deposit already, and so we're just waiting to collect the money. Yes, we're going to have the whole thing is going to be just like this. We're going to have it on a video, just like this, a live feed. That's the plan. I plan on having the live feed there. I asked them if we could do that. They said yes. So we're going to have a live feed. And I'm thinking somebody will have a camera. I'm going to need somebody to have a camera and do that part while we're doing that or we're operating. But when we get ready to have a general Bible study, it's going to be just like this. It's going to be just like this. Yeah. When we get ready to do a general Bible study, it's going to be just like this. Okay. Everybody will see it, both there and people at home that's not able to make it. It's going to be just like this. Right? Yes. But of course, there'll be other parts that you won't be able to see because, like when we're doing our Sabbath school, yeah, you might not be able to see that. I was thinking of you, Castillo. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but now that you say it, I didn't want to put you on the spot by volunteering you, but now that you say it. Yep. All right. Praise the Most High. All right. Let's get some Deuteronomy 15 before we take our break. Deuteronomy chapter 15. I'm going to start where we left off. I want to start verse 4. And I want to read verse 4 down to verse 6 to start us off. We're going to go into almost an hour and a half today, if y'all don't mind. I'm sorry about that. We're going to go a little longer today because as you see, we had some other business to talk about. Okay, so Deuteronomy chapter 15, beginning at verse 4, and let's go down to verse 6. Save when there shall be no poor among you, for Yahweh shall greatly bless thee in the land which Yahweh thy Most High giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy Most High, to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day. For Yahweh thy Most High blessed thee as he promised thee. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. Thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. So, brethren, we're looking at what the ideal was for our fathers in the promised land and what it's going to be like in the earth made new when we're back on the land. So then there'll be no need to borrow or, from people at that time when we're on the land and when the earth is made new. But it says, thou shalt reign over many nations. Israel is going to reign over many nations. Israel is going to be the capital nation of planet Earth. And Jerusalem is going to be the capital of the entire planet, the capital city of the entire planet. There'll be other nations, but there'll be one nation that is above all nations, that is Israel. Okay. And Messiah is going to be the king of the entire planet, and the mayor, so to speak, and the king of the city of Jerusalem is David. Right? David's going to be raised up, as the Bible teaches us, to be king. So that is the order of things. And you'll have nations. There'll be nations. And some of you Gentiles are going to be, you might be poor here, but don't worry. There'll be some of your people saved by receive this truth, and you may be a king in your nation. Okay? You may be poor here. That's okay. Be poor in Babylon. You will be rich in the earth made new. You know why? Because the first shall be last. You know the rest. And the last shall be first. Praise the Most High. So that's what you're reading right now. And this is what I love about Deuteronomy. You're not only reading what he intended for our fathers, you're reading what he intends for us. Okay? You're reading what he intends for us. Okay. Verse 7. If there be among you a poor man, one of thy brethren, within any of thy gates in thy land, which Yahweh thy Most High giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother. So it's already given us our attitude toward the poor. What is our attitude? Don't be a hard-hearted one. Don't talk about this is your own fault and you deserve it. You just lazy. Don't do that. Especially a working poor man. There's, to me, very few more honorable people than people that work hard and they're poor. I have more respect for them. They work very hard. They do landscaping. They might sweep. They pick up garbage. They might deliver mail. They might, they're working hard. They're just not making enough money in Babylon to support what they need to support. I have more respect for those people. Always respect those people. Honor them. Because you know what? There are hardworking, poor people in every nation. And no matter what they believe, I believe the Father's going to bless them. They just got to be taught the truth, and he will teach them. That's what part of the 1,000 years are for. That's why some of us are going to be priests over the 1,000-year period. We'll be having the Father and Messiah with us, and he'll send us to, and we'll be teaching the heathen the truth. Because their hearts are sincere. They were just a system they were born into, and they couldn't control that. And they were poor, and they work hard, and they suffer. Father's so good. He knows those people. He knows who they are. Okay, he knows who they are. And he's going to bless them. Okay, and so yes, always give honor. And he's telling us, don't shut your hand, don't harden your heart. And that's what heathen nation in this capitalist society is teaching us. You poor because you just stupid. You poor because you just lazy. You poor and you got drugs because you just dumb. You know what? Let me just bring this down real quick. A person that reaches for alcohol or drugs and gets hooked on it, 9 times out of 10. In fact, I don't think I've ever met somebody that was in this position. They're trying to heal a hurt. They're hurt. Somebody hurt them bad. And they're trying to numb the pain. That's what they're doing. And that's why they reach for the high. It's not the drug itself. It's not the alcohol itself. They're in pain and they haven't dealt with their pain. Right? And so they reach for these substances. They even have a name for it nowadays. They call it, what they call it, self-medication, right? You ever heard of self-medicating? That's what they're doing because they're in pain. They're in emotional, spiritual, physical pain. Somebody, some situation, something hurt them badly. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to dull pain. And so when we're dealing with these people, we don't deal with it from the substance. We deal with it from the pain. You understand? You deal with it from the pain. And that's from the Father and from the Most High. And the drugs, especially for the Hebrews, they knew they put us in pain. They knew it. And so they put them drugs there. They knew we were underemployed. They knew we were underpaid. They knew it was planned for us to financially struggle and to be in debt. So what they do, they bring heroin, marijuana, and cocaine and hashish into our neighborhoods. Then we just self-medicate. And then people fighting over it. So you get some industrial, some industrious young Hebrews, and they say, hey, we can make money on this. And then they fighting over territory because they're making a lot of money because a lot of people are in pain. Then they broke down the game even further and made a cheaper, more powerful drug called crack. Cheaper and more powerful. And they put that in the neighborhoods. And the brothers, you had people doing all kinds of heinous things to just get a couple of rocks. And you have people selling it and getting all kinds of new cars and stacking cash, selling it because everybody's trying to survive. And everybody is in pain. Both the seller and the buyer. It was set up, brethren. We've been set up. We've been hoodwinked. Seriously, we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and set up. And that's why we're in this situation. Then they brought the women's lib movement to the black woman and messed with her head. So she don't even know who she is or why she's by herself. She don't understand why she's by herself. She can't even see why she's by herself, but she's by herself. Or she may have had some children, picked the wrong Negro. Don't know how because she thought she was going to control the Negro. And she just messed it up. Did that on purpose to hurt us. There's only one way out. Father Yah and Messiah, He is the way. There's only one way out. And it's purposely done like that. Father has left us but one option. Him. Him and His word. That's our only option. There's no other way. There's no other way to escape the way they put this web together to destroy us. There's no other way. But Father, praise His name. Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 8. But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him. Thou surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanted. Verse 9. Beware that there be not a thought of in thy wicked heart, saying, the seventh year, the year of release is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him naught, and he cry unto Yahweh against thee, and it be sent unto thee. The Most High hears the cry of the poor. Ezekiel chapter 9, set a mark upon those that what? Sigh and that cry for all the abominations done in the midst thereof. Those the poor, the fatherless, the widows, those that are at the bottom rung of this corrupt system. Those are the ones sighing and crying. And He don't care what color you are, because there's Hebrew Judases and there's Caucasian that come to the truth. See? He don't care. As long as you come to the truth. Now, He knows His chosen ones, the bloodline coming forward. He knows that. But there's others aside from those. And that's what He said. There'll be others aside from these that I'm bringing. Both Messiah said that and Isaiah said that. There's others aside from these that I need to bring in. He don't care. As long as there is a sincerity to follow that which is true and righteous. Call upon the Father. He sees the corruption. He knows it's there. He knows it. He knows what it's designed to do in terms of destroying us. Don't even think it's nothing else. It's designed to destroy you. It's designed for that. Okay? It's designed to destroy you. Don't think it's anything else. It ain't no accident. Ain't just so happen. Ain't because you lazy. It's designed to destroy you. But Father is your way out. And he will guide you and keep you in the way you should go. He promises that. Okay. And this is designed for us to be victorious, for us to overcome. That's what Revelation constantly says, isn't it? To him that overcometh. It's for us to overcome. Okay. And Father will get all the glory because he is the one to bring us through. Praise the Most High. Okay. Verse 10. Thou shalt surely give him, and thy heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because for this thing Yahweh thy Most High shall bless thee in all thy works and in all that thou puttest thy hand into. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. See, it's not because we rich and we give him from our abundance. Sometimes it's we, how am I going to give? Okay, I need to give him this 100, this 200, and I need to figure out how I'm going to pay the rest of my bills. Father will work it out. Believe me, I'm bearing witness. He will work it out for you. Okay, just do it in secret. Do it as he's telling you. He's going to bless you. Don't worry about it. Don't just do it for anybody to see. It's not tied to a church. It's whatever he's telling you. It could be that $50 that you had usually set aside for your lunch breaks. It could be something, but it's going to be what he's telling you to do. I have to finagle stuff. Okay, I got to send this over here. This one waiting for this. Okay, boom, boom, boom. How are we going to do this? And the Father always works it out. He works it out. Praise the Most High. Yes, he works it out. But don't worry about helping the poor brethren. The Most High will bless you. That's a promise. If you help the poor, he's going to bless you. Okay? He's not blessing you for giving the Reverend Dr. So-and-so and they big church, they big $1 million church. He's not blessing you for that. If you help the poor, he's going to bless you. That's the word right there. Okay? And you know and I know who really is poor, right? We know who really is poor. He will help you. Don't worry. Bless you for that. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop here for now. We're going to come back. It's now 12:48. We're going to come back about 1:35, 1:45, something like that, and do part 2. Praise the Most High of Deuteronomy chapter. Well, it'll be part 3 because this will be a third part in Deuteronomy 15. But as you can see, we are not rushing through this chapter or any other chapter in the book of Deuteronomy, because it's all a blessing. Praise the Most High. It's for his chosen people to know what's coming. And so here he's teaching us how to deal with our poor brothers. He's teaching us what the kingdom is going to be like when he greatly blesses us above whatever Babylon could do. Praise the Most High. So may the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom.